Hello, it's me, Jerry. You may not recognize me without my aluminum foil helmet. I know I don't. I find it rather disconcerting and disorienting. However, I am over 100 miles away from my studio, so I will have to make do. Today's piece, that's P-I-E-C-E, is dedicated to the symbolism of wallpaper and relatively inexpensive Trader Joe's tequila. See, I just got off work at a major Hollywood motion picture studio, which is my day job, and I did not have my remote control, so I'm going to have to use my body like a remote control to zoom closer and farther away from the lens. I just had dinner. I fried up some hamburger with clam sauce. I know there was a lot of protein involved. Excuse me. Now, on to the subject of today's piece. Observe the pattern on this wallpaper. Let me zoom in. This is the former residence of a very dear friend of mine and my lovely wife's, who now resides in heaven. I stopped by here to check the mail, put out the garbage, and keep an eye on the place. However, this is her wallpaper. Today, as I was sitting on the tile floor, the dining table was given to her maid, who was a very dedicated, hardworking, lovely person who established a very meaningful relationship with our dear departed friend. However, on to the wallpaper. Symbolism is a very subjective thing. Today, I decided to interpret that this pattern here represents, I guess, what you would call the mainstream. This pattern here represents elites. They might be managerial elites, they might be financial elites, they might be artistic elites, but they are removed from the mainstream. Now, if you look very closely, I better zoom in some more. You see some little red diamonds that weave in and out of the elites. At this point in time, I've decided that those weaving patterns, which remind me of the spiral helix, are neither mainstream nor elites. They are, and I don't want to sound cliche at all, free souls who manage to weave in and out of the elite islands or kingdoms or spheres and come very near the mainstream. I think that position in society is vital and a blessing and a curse. These spiral helix, for want of another term, could very well be artists, but for some reason they have to interact with the mainstream. Now, there's very many ways of viewing this. they might not be committed enough to their particular passion so that they feel they have to keep at least 1 foot in the mainstream, have the proverbial day job. That's what I was doing today. I was doing my day job, working as a grip at a major Hollywood motion picture studio. However, still encoded in their soul is artistic passion. So they also orbit the elite kingdom. Now, in this particular instance, in my particular instance, I like to think of the elite kingdom, and I'm not talking in terms of status or power, but of the higher sense of kingdom, the place where one really wants to reside, is pure, undiluted, unadulterated passion. So you see, this wallpaper kind of says it all. I find it very expressive. I realize that symbolism is totally and completely subjective, and I am a totally and completely subjective individual, as are most, well, I don't know about that, maybe they're not. Well, I'll give everybody a benefit of the doubt. Everybody's totally and completely subjective and or objective. Okay, well, that's all. I gotta hit the road back to my home in Santa Barbara. If this piece wasn't particularly enlightening, at least hopefully it wasn't. Oh, I forgot about the relatively inexpensive tequila. It's called Tequila of the Gods. Now, the cynic might say that that's just a hip marketing ploy, but after having consumed a considerable amount of this bottle, I think it is truly tequila of the gods. Thank you, Trader Joe's. You're a very convenient place to shop at, although I wish you were a union. Good night. P.S. I almost forgot, and it's not the tequila of the gods talking. What is it with Alberto Gonzalez and George Bush? Why doesn't that lawyer resign? Why is George Bush obsessed with surrounding himself with incompetence? I don't get it. Who'd ever have thought John Ashcroft would come off as a constitutional hero?